Have you ever done a video and accidentally deleted it before saving? So I was just talking about some rather iconic medical mysteries there are. One that has gotten into our language with words like sanguine or melancholic or even choleric. One that has influenced diets and possibly even how people see us. Sort of like a beginner to the Myers-Briggs personality test, which are also probably bunk. I'm INFJ, and I'm telling you, the judgmental side of me is saying, this is wrong. The introverted part of me is saying, y'all do what you gotta do. I'm gonna just hang out with the cat for a while. So anyway, there are many, many medical myths that have, over time, influenced politics. They have influenced diet. They've influenced everything. They've given us language and words. Oh, I love words. Except for when I can't find the one I want. And then I'm just like, ugh. So, there are personality tests out there. And I found out that I'm mostly, by a very small margin, melancholic, but with a also pretty big bump of sanguine. So apparently I'm happy-go-lucky until I'm not. And apparently no one person is ever just one thing. And all of these are named for things that come out of the body. Whether that is the biggest thing in your life, too much blood can make you apparently more violent and aggressive, or too much poo for choleric can apparently make you moody. And it's just reminding me of this lady recently who told me that if you have anxiety, all you really need is a good poo. Sure, Jan. Whatevs. I'm not discussing my bowels with you, thanks. Anyway, I apparently have one of those faces that makes perfect, honest-to-goodness strangers tell me the weirdest or the, shall we say, I've heard a lot about other people's love lives that I did not want to know. But anyway, so we have all of that. And over time, like I said, all of these things have influenced how we perceive the medical field. For example, if you had an illness like epilepsy, some doctors might advise that you try to cure the weak with the strong. And for example, gladiator's blood, and hopefully from a winning gladiator, I'm assuming, because otherwise, unless, of course, the dead guy was a favorite of yours and you just want a little part of him. And people have also used hankies to clean up, dead king's blood and stuff, either for maybe a little last bit of the power or a nice little heirloom to give your grandkids. I was thrilled the first time my grandmother gave me the king's blood on a hanky. It was lovely. Beautiful lace hanky. It was just perfect. I'm kidding. So this event did not actually happen. Anyway, so as you can see, what goes on in us, what comes out of us, and everything else have influenced so many things. And sometimes the Myers-Briggs test, which are basically the more emotional version of this, have been used for jobs and maybe even setting you up. So a lot of these things just influence things, On top of this, also language, like the disease cholera, which is often associated with fecal bacteria. Then you have, sanguine temperaments. Oh, he's very sanguine, just, goes with the flow. Do. Or he's melancholy. Oh, he's sad. And you have websites where they are talking about the body temperament of various historical figures, like St. John the Baptist, etc., etc. Now, when you're talking about diet, here we go. This popped up in my feed, and it's a list of things to feed your husband, if you have one, I guess, or yourself, if you're experiencing things like being a complete jerk, being an abusive twat, being sad, talking in your sleep, which apparently can be cured with cabbage and onions, which would cause a whole different kind of talking. Speaking of cabbage, there was actually a dude in ancient Rome during the time of Tiberius Caesar who thought cabbage could literally cure everything. Cabbage was like the panacea to cure all ills. I guess probably not the south wind. Other than that. So, but you look at these tests, and some of the tests are, I like to dance by myself. I want to feel powerful. I love making people afraid of me. I want people to be welcome. Things like that. And then telling you things like, well, if you are more ruled by the blood, you should eat more of this. If you're mostly ruled by the yellow bile, then you should eat this thing over here. If you are melancholic, maybe you should eat more rice products. Things like that. And it's like, okay, I see. And I've actually watched people on this show called The Supersizers Eat Norman England, and they are dressed and eating as they would have as Saxon nobles during the 11th to 12th century CE. And if you are possessed more of a grumpy temperament, a little less of this. If you, on the other hand, people who are melancholy might need the thing. And of course, certain foods don't look that great and just might make a choleric person look even angrier. So all of this, it's in the natural histories. You can see it in the works of Galen, who has inspired much of modern medicine. You can see it in just history, if you're looking, or in our language when you're talking. And it always feels so weird. But at the same time, a lot of this stuff is something that you can control. It is not that you are being controlled by too much hot blood and need to be bled. And just for fun, because I'm loving the pseudoscience and everything else, here are my results and the SNL link with the medieval doctor played by Steve Martin. Fantastic. Check it out, take a look, and give yourself some love today. Bye.